every time I eat or drink oil, I think of my trees, and spontaneously I would think of how many hundreds and thousands of olive tree the occupation and the soldiers uprooted from our land. I wouldn't forget this picture of a woman, a Palestinian woman, hugging her olive tree because they wanted to uproot it. It's a very famous picture. And I would think, what if they uproot this tree from my yard here? It's part of me, as I am part of it. What would happen? I would die. Yeah.
Constructing reality.
Yeah.
Constructing. You can't see that one actually. So maybe this would be better than the roses.
Yeah.
This
It's
is better,
dying.
But it's dying. I mean,
It's dying.
Okay.
it's not, I don't think
Okay. Cool. Then,
It smells lovely. Yeah.
but then we should maybe, let me just see, add this in, just change the...
The vase.
okay.
Oh yeah. You want? Let me do it over there, Camille.
Okay.
I'll do it over here. Oh, Camille, I know. Men. Yeah, I know. It's hard for you guys.
And I'm trying.
Try. I remember when I stayed a few years in the States, the first time I came back, I went to the vegetable market. If you go to this vegetable market, you see tens of, farmers selling their products. I loved it. I wanted to go there and just listen to them while they're calling for their fruits and how much it is it. And while you are walking, you'll find so many people talking to you at the same time, trying to convince you to buy this or to buy that. And sometimes you feel like you want to buy from everyone. But this whole thing makes you alive. You see the people, you see them talking to each other and laughing, and probably you will see the fields all around. It's not clean, but even that, you feel like this is nature. Okay, after they finish, they will clean, but this is life. They are still smiling. They are still looking forward for something that is coming for sure. And that's what I was always longing to see these faces and to be able to talk to them, to bargain over the products that you won't see anywhere else. When I go and see all these settlements on our land, my father's and my grandfather's land, every time I go by these settlements, I look to the land and I see the crime over and over. How would I forget the soil of that land? How would I forget my grandfather, how hard he worked on that land before they come and took it? So this connection cannot be vanished, it cannot be cut, it cannot be disrupted. My passion. To be able to live freely, to move freely from one place to another, to fly, crossing the borders, crossing the checkposts, and all these fabricated walls around us. This is, I don't know if I would see that day or no, but that's my daily passion. All my adult life has been under some sort of restriction. And I sometimes take off these walls and look at life from a different corner. Where only, landscape of Palestine, away from soldiers, suppression, walls, being able to travel from one place to another without going through different restrictions. They're taking everything beautiful from us, from our lives, and imposing all difficult situations. So all this makes our lives miserable, and from the other side, makes it a dream, passion for us, just to be free. I used to be under town arrest for 7 years, which means I cannot move from one place to another. Even when I was pregnant, I couldn't go to my doctor, to visit my doctor. When I have to have birth, I have to have a permission ahead of time. My little daughter, she's still carrying this psychological barrier upon her, and it shaped her psychology, because she was just a few days old when she went and visited her dad in prison. So I have to deal with all this personally and through my kids as well.
ولا قد الحنان
You know, during the first Intifada, I used to help the youth, the wounded youth, to take them to the hospital, and some of them died while they're in my hands, taking them in the car. So I developed this psychological trauma, claustrophobia. You can't be, within a closed doors, or even when you have MRI, I can't have an MRI in a closed place. That's the wall for me. Every time I see the wall, I shiver. I cannot stand something that, cuts through and separates us from the other side. It's something that heavy on my soul and my thinking that hits me from inside. And sometimes I feel like I want to have a big hammer and just knock this wall away. It destroyed our lives. Its psychological effect and its material effect as well. It's just when we travel from, for example, from here to Abu Dis, it's to the south, to the east of Jerusalem. We go through the wall all the way, and it makes me sick. It makes me, short. Like I have a short breath. I can't breathe normally. We used to go from here to my mother-in-law in like 20 minutes. We'll be there. Now we have to go through all this bypass roads, which cuts, the road away from Jerusalem. We can't enter Jerusalem. It's there in front of us. And while we go from here to there, you'll see settlements on both sides, and settlers being able to go to Jerusalem every minute they want. They can go anywhere in the West Bank and in Jerusalem and in other cities to the shore, the Mediterranean shore. But we cannot enjoy this privilege because of this occupation, because of this aggression that is endured on us. The wall is something inhuman. It's a violation of every international law and every human law. It cannot exist. It shouldn't exist. It should be knocked down. And hopefully someday we'll do it. Someday we'll knock this barrier away from our chests, away from our children's chest. It was like 45 days that I haven't changed my clothes, I haven't brushed my teeth, I haven't washed myself. And during the interrogation, they kept putting me in different solitary cells. One of them actually was so small that I cannot sit and stretch my feet. I have to either crush myself. Otherwise, I will step on the urine of other prisoners because they don't allow them to go to the toilet. all the days that I spent in solitary confinement, when you don't know nothing about the outside world. You don't know what happened. I didn't know what happened to my husband, what happened to my kids, what's going on outside these walls. This sense of being isolated from the whole world is hard. But at the same time, you have to confront, knowing that it's not gonna last. You have to build in your inside energy, inner energy, to take the situation. It's hard. Nobody can stand this situation. And when you have your head covered with a filthy, dirty sack, and you only smell the dirtiest smell ever, you can't imagine how hard it is unless psychologically you find your way of challenging, find your way of fighting back. It's a psychological process that you build in within your mind and within your soul to build a resistance psychology and to convince yourself that you are stronger than them. And this psychology actually kept me surviving and kept me challenging them. نزلنا الشوارع رفعنا الرايات غنينا لبلادي أحلى الغنيات أغاني للحرية للوحد الوطني للحرب الشعبية طريق الانتصارات للحرب الشعبية طريق الانتصارات. Strength it's a gift actually that is not given away. It has to be worked out. It has to be built on. You have to build your own strength in order to challenge the situation. And that's what we learned during this, long process of struggling, fighting the occupation. It keeps building on and on. Maybe you have some of it inherited, but I know that the bulk of it is accumulating while we are going during this struggle. And you can see it in little kids and in older kids as well. It's built in, and it has to be nourished. It has to be nourished with education. It has to be nourished with raising, the right way. And it has to be used for the positive results. Because there are people with power that use this strength for destruction. But strength for us is just getting our rights. And this strength actually comes from the connection that we have with this land. I've been all over the world. I lived and studied, but I cannot be detached or live long away from this. And it's some sort of protection somehow.
S
Yeah.
E,
Yeah.
E, T,
T.
E, E, H.
You know, sometimes I feel sorry for them. I know that these are young, you know, kids on the checkposts, and they're doing their compulsory service draft. Sometimes I feel like talking to them, you know, putting some sense in their heads. But looking at them with their machine guns, you know, they would probably, if I wanted to stop and talk to them, they would probably react in a very compulsive way, and they might hurt me. I know that they don't, some of them find it difficult for themselves to be in that spot. I know lots of stories of soldiers who are, you know, counting the days so that they will be released from this service. But I know that some other part of this army are being trained, brainwashed to see us as the enemy. And I wouldn't have this luxury to talk to each soldier and explain to each soldier that this is not the way it should be. We're both human beings. You're in the wrong place, and whoever brought you to this spot or brought you all to this spot is for some other reason that is not your interest as a human being. It's against your interest as a human being, against your aspirations as a human being. But I know that if this situation change, if they take off their clothes and become human beings without this screen, without this mindset that was imposed on them, they would see the truth. I know that this can happen, but this needs more people, more awareness, more interaction, and needs also the international community, where they can see what their governments probably are involved in by encouraging this occupation. And Israelis are victims. Of course, they don't know that they are victims because they are brainwashed. Once I was listening to the news about a demonstration in the north settlements on the borders of Lebanon. This was after the 2006 war with the Lebanese resistance. And settlers there, some Jews here, a good percentage of the Jewish here in Palestine, they come from Arab countries, from Morocco, from Iraq, from Yemen. So they belong to us. They are our brothers. By race, they are our brothers and sisters. But they put them in harm's way in the northern settlements, where the possibility of getting killed is much higher than the people of Tel Aviv. But why would they put them up there in the harm's way? It's because of the nature of this regime, the racist nature, apartheid nature that discriminates between an Arab Jew who comes from one of the Arab countries, whether Yemen, Iraq, Tunisia, Morocco, or Russian or European. Europeans comes as the higher race, and then everybody else. And then comes us, the owners of the land, the indigenous people. That's how discriminate they are against their own people. So people are really suffocating. They are living in a big prison. We say that Gaza is a big prison. True. Gaza situation is very, very hard. But here as well, there is a big prison. We are locked in. And the only one who has the key to this prison is the Israeli military establishment. You know, if I see a plant dying, I would run to it and try to fix the situation, probably water it, put more soil on it, and, you know, just touching the soil and make sure that it's the right soil for these plants. Because this is life. The land, the trees, everything is part of our, or it's an extension of us and vice versa. These mountains is part of us, part of our history, part of our present time, and part of our future. This land is coming back. That's why there is no way that we can be disconnected from them, from the land, from the surroundings, the landscape, the trees. Everything is connected. So I would advise not only the Israeli leadership, but who's behind it, who is sponsoring it, and who is defending it in Europe and the States, that this game of domination is over. Instead of domination, we have another choice. End colonization of this land, bring the refugees back who are scattered all over the world, and then we can live together. Other than this, it will continue. This war and this conflict will continue. You will kill the people of Palestine, will react to their killing, because no one can stand somebody who's attacking him without any kind of defense. We are on the defense line always.